YouTube, Brian Holder. Yeah. BJ Holder, that's right. Hey Jeff, how's it going? I see it.
Please stand and join us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order and would entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Well, I just want to congratulate. I know a lot of times we have various commissions and boards and committees, and not very often people show up, but Troy is getting appointed tonight to the Council of Civil Rights Commission, so I just want to say congratulations. It's very exciting. And just exciting that you guys are here, and I know you're very excited about this opportunity. So for everybody in the audience and anybody that might be watching at home, if you have any interest to serve on any of our commissions, our boards, our committees, please don't hesitate to let any one of our council members know, let Mayor Walsh know. We're always looking for people to serve, and so it's even better if we know someone that really is interested. We would love to put you on a board or a committee, so don't be shy about coming forward. Troy, we're excited for you.
And just a side note that we try to fill those commissions from people who live within the city limits, if at all possible. So.
All right. Thank you again. Look forward to your future years of service. Once you get on, you can't get off.
Surprise.
All right. Any other discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing none, what is the pleasure of the council? We have a motion. Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we have the public hearings. This is time and place for a public hearing is advertised in the matter of Resolution 14-155, which is approving the urban revitalization plan of the Bluffs Northway Urban Revitalization Area. Is there proof of publication on file?
It is on file.
Have any written protests been received?
None received.
Are there any oral protests to this matter? Is there anyone here tonight who would like to speak against? Seeing none, is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor? If you'd approach the podium and give your name and address for the record.
Deborah Smith, 12910 Colby Street, Omaha, Nebraska. And I work for Golden Properties and with the ones that have submitted the petition. And do we have any, I know we talked about this earlier, do you have any more questions for us?
Anyone else have any questions?
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Anybody else wishing to speak in favor? Then we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Did we
We
have a motion?
actually have no
Well, I can't win for losing.
You're testing us, aren't you?
I was just gonna go with that.
I kind of caught Nate out of the corner of my eye going, excuse me, last time we had a motion and I acted like we did, and now we don't have a motion, I act like we did, so we're even. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion by the council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign.
Aye.
This is the time and place for a public hearing is advertised on the matter of Resolution 14-156, authorizing the disposal of excess city property vacated by ordinance number 3188 that was dated September 14th, 1948. Is there proof of publication on file?
It is on file.
Have any written protests been received?
None received.
Is there anyone from 1948 who would like to speak against it? Anyone in the audience who would like to speak against this? Any oral protests? Is there anyone from the audience who would like to speak in favor? Seeing none, what's the council's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. This time and place for public hearing is advertised on the matter of Resolution 14-157, which is also authorizing disposal of city property formerly known as 908 Fifth Avenue. Is there proof of publication on file?
It is on file
Have any written protests been received?
and received.
Are there any oral protests tonight? Anyone wishing to speak against? Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in favor? Seeing none, what is the council?
Wait,
I'm sorry. Could you give your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Heidi Trinnell. My address is 910 Fifth Avenue. I am the one requesting the purchase of this property. I know I've offered a lower amount than what the property is worth, but any of you who have driven through or walked through even that neighborhood knows that it's not the best of neighborhoods. My husband and I intend on, yes, making it part of our own property, but also building a large garden in the property to help out with the low-income communities in the neighborhood. So I know the property has been vacant for quite some time, and I know you're not getting any taxes, and you're also having to pay out to have the upkeep, which it's not really kept up very well because it's overrun with weeds again already. So I would just like you to keep that in mind.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, what's the council's pleasure?
Move the resolution.
Second.
And for clarification, is it per staff recommendation or at the request of the applicant?
It was per staff recommendation.
And the second concurs? All right, any discussion?
I just want to briefly say, we as a city generally, when we receive property that we didn't intend to receive, we inherited, if you will, foreclosures or abandonments. It's generally our policy if the property can be built on, the lot's big enough to be built on physically according to the zoning regulations. We generally charge fair market value, which is generally the best indicator we have is the assessed value. It may not be exact, but it is an objective figure, and almost always it's lower and sometimes significantly lower than the costs that we, the city, meaning the taxpayers, have into it for tearing down the building, the legal costs of doing all the paperwork and so forth. So it still is less than what the taxpayer is having to pay, but we can't go lower than that because we have a responsibility to try to recoup back a reasonable amount for the taxpayer. And I appreciate the concerns with the property in this instance, but I just wanted you to, since you did speak, I thought you deserved an explanation as to why we have there's a motion on the floor to go with the staff recommendation, which is to charge the value, which is more than your offer. And so I thought you deserved an explanation.
And I just want to also state that the planning department has told us, and they've told us this before, that by state law we have to sell the property for market value. So whether or not that assessed value is market value is probably debatable, but without an appraisal being done to show it less than that, that's the number we have to work with. So.
And I just want to add that the city has between $11,000 and $12,000 already spent on this property. So to me, not only does the assessed value of $7,700 seem reasonable, but it's just about half, well, less than half of what the city has in it. So as much money as we can recoup for the taxpayers, I would be in favor of that. So I'm not sure if the counteroffer of $7,700 is going to be accepted, but I hope so, because your garden sounds like a good idea.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. This is the time and place for public hearings advertised on the matter of Resolution 14-158, adopting an amendment to the current city budget directing our finance director to submit the budget amendment to the county auditor and the Iowa Department of Management. Is proof of publication on file?
It is on file
Have any written protests been received?
and received.
Are there any oral protests of this matter? Anyone who would wish to speak against? Is there anyone here who would wish to speak in favor of? Seeing none, what's the council's pleasure?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Any discussion by the council?
Just like to say briefly that so contacted by some people that actually read those public notices that appear in the newspaper, and they asked me, gee, it looks like we're spending a lot of additional money. I sat down, spent some time with the finance director, Mr. Art Hill, and he correctly explains that this is a annual budget ritual that all cities go through at the end of their fiscal years, and that sometimes the realities don't always match up with those nice formal legal things that go into the newspaper. So he went to the trouble of providing a spreadsheet with plain English language explanations as to what we were doing and why. And it's kind of like, aha, now this makes sense. So I just wanted to say that from the standpoint that if anybody would like to see that, it gives some good insight as to the good work that Art and his department have put into this process going forward, and I'm in support of this.
And it is our responsibility to accurately reflect our revenues and expenditures, and as Council Member Ringenberg said, we're just cleaning it up at the end of the year, because now we know what our expenditures and expenses were, or our expenses and revenues were. Anybody else? So we need a motion, I think, do we?
Have a motion?
We have a motion.
Be glad to turn this over to the city
Start
clerk.
doing.
Anybody? Yeah, I'm 3 out of 4 wrong. Anybody, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Madam Clerk, please step in.
Ordinances on first reading. Ordinance 6207, establishing the Bluffs Northway Urban Revitalization Area within the city of Council Bluffs.
Have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion, please. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Ordinance
First,
62.
Can I interrupt you? Some people say that they can't tell on the split votes how the votes came in, and so that was a 4-to-1 vote. In favor?
Ordinance 6208, amending the zoning map as adopted by reference in section 15.02.040 by rezoning the 3.6 acre parcel located at 2410 North Broadway Street, legally described as part of lots 2 and 3, auditor subdivision of the southwest quarter, northwest quarter, and lot 2 and part of lots 3, 4, and 11, except Creek, auditor subdivision of the southeast quarter, northwest quarter,